What is up? There's no music, but we're dancing. Hi. Let me move my mic a bit because the audio looks a little not very fun, little not very cool, little not little not a vibe. Anyway, speaking of vibes, hello, evening, lateness vibes. Uh, I've been promising. Not I've been promising. That's a strong word. Uh, Bonus stream. I don't usually stream outside of like a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. But Kanye, Mr. Yee, is a presidential candidate. And he's going bonkers. And when I was streaming earlier this week, covering stuff about Trump and Kanye's fight, a bunch of stuff was popping up about Kanye on Tim Pool. And now I wake up this morning and he's on Alex Jones's InfoWars. So my brain hurts. My brain has hurt multiple times this week because of this man. So, sorry, I'm gonna change the lighting a little too. So, that means we have to cover it because he's a presidential candidate. Normally, I don't give two shits about Kanye West. Or the Kardashians, or that whole drama family. Oh, I didn't set up my second monitor for my chat. Oopsies. If you're talking, I can't see you. Sorry. That's okay. We live and we learn. Oh no, echo. Ooh, got it. Okay. Sorry. So, I am going to go over the Tim Pool stuff, because that happened first, and then the Alex Jones stuff. I'm going to be watching some clips and things with you guys, because I just did not have it in me to do a lot of looking into this beforehand. I know that's not usually my vibe. I know that you come to me because I am just so prepared, and I am just so, Google extraordinaire. But just typing in Kanye West Alex Jones in my internet Google bar made brain cells die. So I don't want to do it as much as possible. I'm just going to do it like the one time instead of over and over again so I can save these little babies, you know? I only got so many, and I want to take care of them. Know what I'm saying? So, let's dive into it. Let's go a la web surfing. Let's go. Also, why the hell was it hard to find random Tim Pool stuff? Like, I'm typing Tim Pool, and then it's like, oh, he has some stuff on YouTube and some other stuff. Also, he has like 5 YouTube channels. What the fuck? So I had to go to Timcast IRL compared to like the Tim Pool and the other whatever in order to find the clips of the interview, because I can't really find the whole thing, but I can find he storms out of Timcast studio during his interview with Tim Pool, Milo, and Fuentes. I found that, and it's a 14-minute thing, so we have to buckle in. Everybody get your water. Everybody get a snack. And let's figure out what's going on.
You're not gonna.
Oh, it's loud. No, I didn't like that. Wait a second. I don't want to blast your little ears off. Oh, I'm so sorry for your little eardrums. I turned it down. There you go. There you go. I got you. I got your little eardrums. So, yeah, his Timcast podcast is news, politics, and culture, according to him. Let's see.
If we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
and because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now.
So, does he get up and leave multiple times? Or is this like he gets up and that's it? Also, right off the bat, wow, that was a lot. My nose itches, but that was a lot right off the bat. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know anything about him possibly going to jail. What I do know in most instances when people talk about Kanye West getting locked up, the Kardashians, you know, whom he married into, have publicly stated they considered like hospitalizing him. Excuse me, because of how he has literally no med compliance with his different mental health issues. He's bipolar, like, diagnosed. And so he is very clearly going up and down on, like, manic episodes. The mania is hitting him really hard, and now he's going to be president, you know? That's top-tier mania, if you ask me. Versus his depressive episodes that we've seen over the years. I think several of his albums have, like, had to do with that. And he's, you know, publicly stated that he's not on his meds properly because he's talked about how he doesn't like how they make him feel. He's talked about how he thinks he's more artistic off of them, which is, like, not a line, that we want to deal with. Mental health is very complicated. I understand not liking your meds, like, but that means you have to be willing to work with your doctor and try a bunch of different meds, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if we had a better healthcare system, these things would be much more streamlined and much more quickly. I don't think it should take literal years to find meds that work with you. Like, the only reason it should take a long time is because, like, you're on meds and then, you know, weaning off and weaning on meds. That takes time because you can't just be suddenly going on and off a bunch of meds. You know, that's the only reason it should take a while. But again, you should, like, for me personally, on my medication journey, there was a time where I was on meds for, like, barely a month, and I was like, this is not a vibe. Like, it's, because stuff, it takes a bit for it to hit your system, you know? So it was, you know, it'd been, like, 2.5, 3 weeks, and even at a low dose, I was like, this is shit. And I'm not going to be on this anymore. So let's move on to another med. I totally believe in people having that power. So if he does not like his meds, the cool thing is that there's a ton of meds. There's a ton of meds because we have a ton of different brains. And medical miracles over the years have resulted in oodles of meds for all different kinds of brains. So Kanye needs his meds. That's just a fact. And he's not taking them. So the Kardashians have stated that they wanted to put him in a hospital. They wanted to put him in, like, some other kind of, like, institutionalized care. It's a whole ass thing. But that doesn't make you MLK and Malcolm X. It's fun. I'm not a history buff, but I'm not it. Not it, as the kids would say. It's play.
You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then
have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a conversation.
Like, have the discussion.
Like, you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I
gotta
refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised. What do I even do other than ask?
Oh, so that's what they meant when he was saying they. Oh, so basically Tim Pool said like the big anonymous powerful they because he means it in the term of like I don't know, corporate liberals or something. It's Tim Pool. I don't know. But Kanye means Jews. He means like anti-Semitic Jewish conspiracy stuff. So they were fighting over not having the same they. Capital T, they, enemy. So Tim Pool saying no, not Jews made Kanye walk out. Okay. This is a minute 37 into a 14-minute thing, and he walked out. Okay.
Kim, please elaborate on this. Are you referring to individuals, or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
I really wanted to ask Nick about his thoughts about MLK, because I know they contradict his comments about that. But again, these are mass generalizations that don't really help anyone in my perspective. They just kind of sound like their opposition. They sound what they're kind of going against, the woke mob that's always saying white men are responsible for everything. When I see people just use generalizations, it kind of cheapens the conversations. It cheapens a dialogue that we could have here that I was planning to talk to Ye about, specifically bringing up like, hey.
They keep calling him Ye. Is it Ye or Yi? I've been calling him Yi. Because it's Kanye. Did he shorten it to Ye? Have I been fucking it up? I've been hearing Yi. Oopsies. My bad.
Let's actually talk about this in a real concise way. Let's not get emotional. Let's not walk out of here. Let's actually
let me tell
ourselves.
all you guys outright. I said this is going to be a big issue. Before the show, obviously people are going to bring up the questions of anti-Semitism. Why don't we talk about the news? I want to hear what happened with this meeting. I want to understand what Ye 24 is, and then we can do a longer conversation about any of that stuff. And Ye literally in the first 5 minutes says, no, well, I want to talk about a group of people and point to them. Whatever, man. You want to know why? Look, you're not going to sit here and you're going to walk out of the room. You're free to do so, man. But literally I said a couple sentences about, I don't think that's fair. Did I insult the man? He seriously can't handle? He can't handle it?
He also left during the Pierce Morgan interview he did, but he came back. So, again, we should be able to have this conversation. What's up, Chris?
He wants his phone.
Oh, yeah.
Look, man, I wanted to talk to these guys about why they're meeting with Trump.
Chris.
I want to know what happened with the dinner, because we hear a lot of rumors about it.
I want to hear about their 2024 platform, which they were promising, which they were talking about, like they're going to be a...
Okay, so the rest of the video is these guys talking, and not a vibe. I just want more context on the Ye storming out. So, yeah, it sounds like it was just a fight, and he never came back. It sounds like it was just a fight over the big they, capital T. And then... it's just looping back to the anti-Semitism. So Tim Pool is not anti-Semitic, which is cool, I guess. Not I guess. Like, obviously that's cool. So I appreciate him not being, another yes man, because that's the thing, is that Kanye has very much surrounded himself with yes men, and that's what he is putting... with his presidential run, with his just music, with his literal just life, with his... Oh, I have gummy bears, so... Gummy bear. So... like, I'm glad that Tim Pool said something and was like, no, we're not gonna talk about they in the sense of Jewish people, like that's whack. So good on him. And then Kanye, why run away? It's kind of baby shit. Like, if you genuinely have strong convictions and beliefs, like a big part of that plays into that. Sorry, that plays into that is that you gotta stand up for them when they get questioned. So the fact that he would rather just get up and walk away, you know. But also, thanks for not yelling and defending such a whack-ass position. So I don't think I care about this anymore. Especially, at least not in this video. And the beginning part had, like, the clipperino. So Tim Pool stuff is over. Let's jump into the current Alex Jones shenanigans. Which, by the way, going on the InfoWars website is whack as shit because it's just constant ads for, what is that? A diet supplement thing for his random products. Like, at one point the page was barely loading because it had to load up all these ads first for his products. And don't get me wrong, vitamins and supplementing your diet can be good for you. But not like this. Not a vibe. Also, why is Kanye wearing this, like, skin suit thing in the interview? Does he ever take that off? What if it's not really him? Ba-da-da-dun-da-dun-da-dun. Conspiracy. No. Okay, so let's dive into... Look at that! Look at all these ads! That's bonkers! Oh, and you only get free shipping with an order over $50. No. I buy my vitamins at Costco. Thank you.
Free.
Oh, that shit is loud. No. Can I please turn down the volume on that? Yeah, we're skipping that ad. Yep.
This is
Turn that volume down. Oh, there's my dog growling. Hi. You wanna say hi? No puppy break before Alex Jones? Oh, and you guys get a cat in the background. Holy smokes, you get a waffles? You get a waffles? And we have a Serby break? Yeah, we're gonna talk about Alex Jones. We're gonna watch some Alex Jones Kanye stuff. So can you cheer us up before we dive into that? Because that's gonna be not very fun. You look at the camera? Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you. You make politics bearable. Everything I do is for you. Hey, are you eating that? Hey. Can you not eat my... No, I'm live. Ah! No! Please, Waffles, no! Ah! No! Hey. Please don't chew on that. Don't chew on my wall decorations. Q-Nut, you're gonna have to make me put up the technical difficulties. She's in her cord phase. So the cord that I have hanging with some of this art, it's a cord that lights up, like it's got lights and stuff. And she loves lights and cords. She is in her cord phase. She is absolutely in the middle of it. Hey, you're making me nervous. Well, I think we're good for now.
Info wars, right? So you got some info warriors on both sides of you, and you fought for us. You've been fighting.
Wait, no, I need to fix
in this
the...
battle for a long time, Alex, and we just got to salute you as a Christian and as American because you paved the way to make braver soldiers like us today. It's like Terminator.
That does sound like him, so I don't think it's not him. Oops. Wait, no, I want to fix the volume on this, though. Because that's a...
Part 10 happening right now.
Please, no, let me do the volume change.
Free shipping is back at InfoWars.
Oh my gosh! What are you doing? Cat. Oh, really? It's tough being a parent. It really is. What heck? There she is again! Now she's on the other side. Mom is live. Okay? I need you to chill. Also, I have decided that I hate watching this on the band.video site, whatever that is. So we're going to go back here and we're going to go to the full interview.
This is InfoWars.
Oh my gosh, okay. So turn that volume down a bit. Because that's loud as fuck. And can we make that full screen? Cool, cool. How does that look? How does that vibe? How does that feel? How is the volume? Why is it fuzzy? Will you not play now? Oh my gosh.
That's right. So you got some info warriors on both sides of you, and you fought for us. You've been fighting this battle for a long time, Alex, and we just got to salute you as a Christian and as American because you paved the way to make braver soldiers like us today. It's like Terminator Part 10 happening right now.
Free shipping is back at InfoWarsStore.com.
No, I don't want your
Free shipping is back at InfoWarsStore.com on orders of $50 or more. And the other orders, you've seen the prices on that, slashed as well.
the ad just
Check out
forced
InfoWarsStore.com today.
into the...
InfoWars, the most banned network in the world.
What the?
It's Thursday, December 1st, 2022. I'm your host, Alex Jones, and in studio, Yay is our guest. He's going to be here for the next 3 hours or so.
Cool.
And also America First leader, and that is Nick Fuentes, Ollie Alexander, Owen Schroyer, and many others are also going to be coming through here today. And Yay has arrived in a new ensemble here with us, but I'll assure you it is Yay. Yay, thank you so much for coming to Austin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, where would you like to start? This first little 5-minute segment is just kind of a prelude to what's coming up. What do you want to cover here today?
Just God runs the world, and Jesus is the way and the life. And it's time to put Jesus first in the way that we run our businesses, the way we run our families, our businesses, and the way we run our country.
For radio listeners, we're on over 400 radio stations. They can't see you right now. This is a new look for you.
Oh, no, I've been wearing a mask for a while.
Ah.
Yeah.
So this is an archetypal example that the mask is off by putting the mask on.
People can take it how they want to take it. It's just, it's interesting.
He wasn't wearing a mask at the Tim Pool interview, was he? Because that was also earlier this week, right? So does I've been wearing a mask for a while mean like all of 24 to 48 hours?
And if you look at a Michael Jordan or something, you would load up all these pictures and he's smiling and he's holding a basketball, he's jumping from the free throw line. And then you look at Phil Knight and you barely can see a picture of him and he's got his face covered. So I don't have to show my face, it's me. That's my right.
Absolutely. Well, that's what Hollywood wants to do, though, is to control everybody through images.
Exactly. So I'm in control of my image now. It's no longer the people that froze my account. It's no longer the people that threatened me. We've got past the threats. They tried to throw me in jail for the truth. And, you know, people believe me. And people see that I wasn't crazy on what I was talking about. And they tried to write it off, and they keep trying to write it off. But the truth is, the more and more I'm faithful to Christ, the more and more he's going to keep unlocking the blessings. You know, he set it on my heart to build communities, to build farms, to build schools, to build the choir. But when you do that, you have to be really obedient. Hey guys, could you not talk in the back? I'm like really hypersensitive to sound. If you guys want to talk, just go in the other room, please. But we have to be really obedient. You know, like one of the big top.
Kanye has sensory issues confirmed. Okay. So is he saying he's going to accomplish all these things by being president? And he's really diving into the, like, Christian nationalist viewpoints. Like, I knew he was Christian, like, he's been talking about it for a while, but you know how before, earlier this week, I was talking about how, like, you can't find any of Ye's policies. It's probably because they're all Christian national policies. And the trick with that is that you whip out those policies at the last second. Because if people read and stare at them too long, they'll be like, wait a second, this is not a vibe. You know, because our country's religious freedom means that everyone gets to do their personal vibe with religion. There cannot be a government mandated religion. So, yeah, it's not a vibe.
Fix right now is all of the pedophilia advertisement. And my take on that is, you know, there's one place in the Bible where it says God sees sin differently, and there's another place where it says, you know, let me get out my phone. I can like really pull up the exact thing it says in the Bible. The general gist, and we'll get back to it after the fight.
He has a Bible right there. He has a Bible in front of him. Why does he need his phone to pull it up? He doesn't have the passages memorized? Does he just have them saved on his Bible app? Okay. But there's a Bible right there, dude. Like, right to your left. Open that sucker up and read it. If you're going to start quoting the Bible. I just have water in my water bottle. I have one drink today, which is not my typical stream vibe. It's hurting me in my neurodivergency. Right here. This is where the neurodivergency is. No, it's up here. But I only have Wawa. Make me do a quai.
5-minute break is that you have to stay strict to everything and remove as much sin as possible in order to serve God. And when people look at pornography, when a grown man is looking at a grown woman have sex on camera, you're still looking at someone's daughter, and you're looking at a lot of times someone that is the product of pedophilia. So people will engage in going to strip clubs or looking at pornography, but then the moral compass is like, oh my God, look at the pedophiles. But in a way, anybody who looks at pornography is a form of a pedophile also.
Why Why did they just flash children on screen? Also, was that a kid posing with, like, InfoWars merch? Or was that new Balenciaga, thing that happened that they got in trouble for? Because they had, like, kids in their ads and sketchy poses or something. I don't know. I don't care about Balenciaga. For a lot of reasons. Also, I like how he got out his phone to find that Bible verse. Did not get the Bible verse. Then just said whatever he wanted to from memory. It's like, oh, it basically says, and it's like, so you're not quoting the Bible, you're quoting your interpretation of the Bible. That's a very different thing. And I still don't think he's gonna pull it up on his phone.
Let's bank it all in. It's very simple. We're not going to be talking about all this moral code and these standards right here. It's either Christ said so or Christ said no.
Yay, powerful information. I totally agree with you. Back in 60 seconds to join over 400 radio stations. Nick Fuentes in the studio. Everybody, tell everybody you know, tune in now, Infowars.com/show. Let's break the internet today. Stay with us. Well, make no mistake, this Thursday, December 1st, 2022 broadcast is beyond the Twilight Zone. Because truth is stranger than fiction.
That's literally today. This just happened this morning.
Maybe more controversial than Alex Jones or Donald Trump now. I mean, we're about the most controversial people in the world. And obviously the most attacked and demonized. He's here.
We're the most controversial people in the world, attacked and demonized. Yeah, how's that Sandy Hook payout feeling, Alex Jones? You know, how does it feel having the consequences of your actions in your face, you dingus? TLDR, Alex Jones got sued by Sandy Hook parents for, you know, his conspiracy theories is that the Sandy Hook shooting was fake, and he has to pay out like millions of tens of hundreds of millions, I don't know, like just like per family he has to pay like $50 million or something in that one suit. He has multiple suits hitting him, so maybe don't say dumb shit. Because when you say dumb shit, you have to deal with dumb consequences.
Nick Fuentes is here as well. America First. We're going to have Ali Alexander on, Owen Schroyer. This thing's going to go for the next 3+ hours as long as Ye wants to go. Some stations don't carry the first 5, but you just dropped some bombs that I totally agree that are huge, Ye. So recap that and continue on, sir.
Okay, so I looked this up. It's about sin. That's what we're going to talk about, sin today, and how we need to do everything that we can. We're imperfect, but to...
He pulled it off when he pulled it up on his phone when they had a break. Also, is this really 3 hours? I'm not watching this shit for 3 hours. He said it was 3 hours, but probably not. It said it was the full interview on the website, so if I've been lied to, that means I get to punch someone, right? I get to punch Alex Jones, figuratively, in Minecraft and Roblox. 1v1 me in, I was gonna say in Super Smash, but I don't play Super Smash. I don't really play fighting games. So actually, I don't know what to 1v1 him in.
To free ourselves of sin and repent for sin throughout the day, at night, and in the morning. So right here, the Bible says right here, I know I'm going to do a Corinthians 2, like Trump, you know, new Christian kind of reading of this. So bear with me. I love Jesus, but I'm not the most, you know, experienced Christian. And it says, the book of Proverbs, 6:16-19. I'm sure that's the wrong way to read it.
It's okay. You got the floor.
Okay. Identify 7 things that God hates, although there are not any punishments prescribed for those. Scripture clearly indicates that God does view sin differently, and that he proscribed a different punishment for sin depending upon its severity. Now watch this one. It says, where the phrase all sins are equal in the eyes of God comes from. As far as I can tell, the most common argument for the belief that all sins are created equal comes from the book of James 2:10. It states, "For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it."
I'm sorry, I'm listening, but the cloud transitional, and this is supposed to be live, right? Like, I'm watching, obviously, like a back VOD or something, but when this was live, does that mean, so someone's like on the sideline, they're like, oh shit, a Bible quote, we gotta put some holy visuals on the screen, some fucking clouds, some sunbeams. I love it. It's like when you're singing in church and like they put the words up for the hymns on the screen. They always put it up on like the back, the image of clouds and the sky at like sunset or some shit. But he's quoting Proverbs. And then he mentioned something about Corinthians, he's like New Christian Corinthians. I was raised in like a Lutheran church in the Midwest, so I get the gist of quite a bit of this, you know? That's why I knew, like, they put the hymns on the clouds. Yep. Some real world church experience.
Now, I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs. Even though he did create Apple, and if you notice, the logo of Apple is actually the fall of man. The
Forbidden fruit.
The bitten apple, right? So we can get into, you know, what social media.
So get an Android. Maybe his favorite fruit was just apples, dude. I think he's talked about it. It's not that deep. We don't have to look that deep.
Has done to families and all that. We got 3 hours, right? But I like the way our incredible American inventors like Disney and Hughes and Steve Jobs, the way they ran their companies and invented things that changed the world. And the way Steve ran his company was his version of a sinless office. Everyone had to be so meticulous to be able to take what was 10 things at one time and make it and put it in the palm of our hand. Think about an iPhone. It's your fax. It's your email. It's your phone.
And now it's 1,000 things.
Yeah, it's your camera. It's your flashlight. Yeah, it's like 1,000 things in it. But he had to have his army go in with a sinless approach. And right now, you know, God called Gideon to make an army, the 300, the real 300, not the movie version, that were all focused on serving this mission at the time. So we have a mission right now to save our families from social media, from Zionist control, and bring Jesus Christ back to the forefront. And we're protected. You know, I don't have security. My security is the angels. My security is the fact that I didn't load up pornography last night. And I said, this addiction is going to have to flee from me. You know, this addiction since I was 5 years old that has destroyed my mom and my dad's family, that destroyed my family. Like, when I take full accountability for the destruction, like, of my marriage, I'll point at the liberals and say, you took my wife from me. You know what took my wife from me? The fact that I was married to this beautiful person, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I still needed to look at pornography. In some way, I'd say to her, well, stop making these images. Stop.
He cheated on Kim. Like, twice. What? That's a big loop around to I cheated on my wife. That's a lot of explaining for I cheated on my wife. And somehow that is the liberals' fault. Did not know that infidelity was part of the Democratic Party's platform. That's wild. I'm gonna have to reread that. Does that mean if you're like a progressive Democrat, progressive liberal, there's more infidelity? This hurts my brain. Oh, excuse me, I got a little hiccup. So he's really just kind of rambling. And everyone just has to nod along. Also, Nick Fuentes hasn't said anything. And isn't Nick Fuentes like one of his campaign dudes? They're not talking about his campaign. They're literally just rambling about conspiracies. Like, you know, because apparently there's Apple, Steve Jobs is the forbidden fruit icon. Our phones are sin. Something liberal porn made me cheat on my wife. Like, that's this interview so far. Oh man, this is why I'm doing this live. This is why, because I was not going to be able to watch this and then have to watch it again, or watch any clips of it again for you folks. So I love you, but not enough to make my brain have to sort through this multiple times. Okay? Stay hydrated. Oh my gosh.
Breaking the internet. You know, that original term comes from my ex-wife actually having a nude photo that I didn't know about, that someone used her and put her on a magazine. But there's somewhere where she's like, well, if my husband is looking at this, I still want to be like.
Wait, time out. A nude photo I didn't know about, and then they went behind our back, used my wife, and put it on a magazine. That's not how that works. Is he talking about the nude photo shoots that she did, like, with the magazines? Like, the champagne butt photo and stuff? Like, no. She went to those photo shoots and signed a contract, I'm assuming, for the photo shoot to do nudes. Like, wait a second. She's a powerful enough woman that she does not get forced to do nudes. When you have, like, unwanted nudes in, like, nude scenes and such in the industry, it's typically with up-and-coming women, up-and-coming actresses, up-and-coming, models, because they don't have the power to stand up for themselves, and they are, you get scared of losing out on future jobs if you get blacklisted because you refuse to do nudes. Like, that is a thing. There are interviews about that. This is a known phenomenon. So Kim Kardashian, all of the Kardashians are powerful enough that they don't have to deal with that. They're not going to lose out on jobs for not doing nudes. So I don't know about that take, bud. I think your wife just did a nude photo shoot, and, she can do that. Also depends on what magazine. Like, I personally do not want to be going to buy milk, and right there is some nudity, on the cover. But if maybe one of the articles on the inside, there was some artistic. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I think TLDR, he's mad that his wife Kim put her titties out on the internet.
Girls that are doing this, and this becomes people reliving the traumas, pushing the addiction. The pornography industry is not even a big industry. It's like less than $10 billion, right? So that means that it's not used for prosperity, it's used for disparity.
By the way, George Orwell wrote in 1984, and he'd been the number 2 guy in PSYOPs for OSS and ran propaganda for the British government. But he found out that he didn't like Hitler, but he found out that they were actually manipulated and created him. He didn't like the communists. He'd been one of them. He found out the British intelligence had actually created that and done that. And he explained in 1984 that pornography is something to destroy families, destroy our souls, and get us to commit. He wasn't even a big Christian, but get us to debase ourselves so that they could control us.
Absolutely. You got alcohol and pornography are these legal drugs. Alcohol is a spirit. We're gonna go into the spirit of alcohol, Let's just go to the facts today. Let's not just even do opinions. And I love how you brought that in, because now you got God's warriors coming together. Right now, okay, Nick Fuentes doesn't have a Twitter account. Alex Jones doesn't have a Twitter account. But hey, guess what, Elon? I got a Twitter. And today I'm going to have Nick and Alex tweet from my account. You like that, Ari Emanuel?
I'm all about free speech. And the great.
Their laughter was so forced. They had no idea that he was gonna be like, yeah, tweet on my account. Now you have to tweet. You have to tweet with my account because you're banned. Like, a lot of this is clearly like unscripted, unplanned. That Kanye is just popping off, and they're just like, yeah, wow, okay, wow, yeah, great stuff. Holy smokes.
Threat is those that want to silence us. This is why it comes First Amendment.
Yeah.
Anybody trying to take your speech is the enemy.
Nope, the First Amendment is not anybody. It is the government. It's not individuals. It's the government messing with your free speech. The First Amendment is the government messing with your free speech. Individuals are allowed to tell you to shut the fuck up. Companies are allowed to tell you to shut the fuck up. Because companies are not supposed to be as powerful as the government, but we live in like a sketchy kind of situation where companies are getting really big like government. So probably we should do something about that. You know, I hear that we have a trust busting as as an option. No, but the First Amendment is the government fucking with your free speech. The government cannot tell you to shut the fuck up. Unless it's like hate speech, you know? But Twitter can tell you to shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. Well, and it's I do find it a little bit hypocritical that Elon Musk said that he was purchasing Twitter to create a free speech environment. He says that free speech is the thing that's going to save the West and our civilization. But yet he has taken exception to you, Alex, for some seemingly specific reason, maybe personal to him, but definitely not principled. So I think it's time that the people finally demand a real victory here. We've been at war, essentially, since Trump came down the golden escalator 7 years ago to put America first, to put Christ first, to free the internet and do these kinds of things. And here we are all this time later, and it seems like we've stagnated or in some ways maybe even taken a step back. So it's time that people demand we want Christ first, we want America first, we want Alex Jones back on Twitter. These are just and reasonable demands.
Well, I see it like this, and I want you to be able to.
What should Twitter do next? Bring back Alex Jones. No. Okay. Again, talking about a Christian nation. No, not the U.S. We are specifically religion in no government oriented. It's a very specific vibe that we have going on. Like, if you want religion and laws, it's not gonna be here. It never goes well.
Elaborate on this, but I don't want Ye to get his run because he's got so much to say and he always gets cut off. But so I'm gonna try to shut up as much. But we can go 4 or 5 hours if you want. But the main show's actually 4 hours long. I was just hoping for 3. We'll do 4 hours if you guys are up for it. But here's what I'm saying. I am a classical liberal at heart, so I love everybody and I judge people by what they do, not what color they are. And then I look at the things you've said, and some of them out of context I don't agree with. But compared to a liberal, a modern liberal saying white people are inherently evil and white people are bad because of their skin color, and then that's what the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center and these leftist groups in Hollywood have pushed. So they're putting out something beyond even what Hitler said, but
no one says that. Yes, be liberal. Wake up. Think white people bad. Eat hot chip and lie. Like, that's the thing. It's, you know, you hear about like some of the crazy like mindset shifts and the info that a lot of conservatives and like right leaning people get and think is wild. Like he does he genuinely believe that? Like that is just like liberal policies is white people bad? Like as someone who does a lot of community activism and such, I can assure you that we are not out with the homies, and while we're, you know, I'm trying to think of something I did recently, putting up posters to inform of anti-union busting, that no one's just like, you know what? White people bad. Anyway, union busting bad. Like, who tells them that this is left-leaning policies? Like, because that's the thing. They don't listen to the left policies directly from the source. They're getting filtered, twisted things from their news sources, like their pundits. Like, things are getting filtered, and like not even like a purposefully fucked up telephone. And then Alex Jones says that too. Like, because he's a news guy, like I'm assuming it's not that he heard, or maybe he did hear from other news people, but he's a part of the twisting. So now just like your average person is going to be listening to that and going to be like, wow, yeah, that's crazy that their policies are just white people bad. I'm a white people. Like, oh my gosh, that means they think I'm bad. Like, that's crazy.
Reversing it onto white people, and we're supposed to sit there.
Go on a left-leaning, a progressive, a democratic socialist, like go on their websites and actually look at their policies. Like, go directly to the source. Go to any politician's website. Do it for right-leaning people too, but usually they don't have like actual policies. They're just like culture war stuff. Culture war TM.
And accepted, and then Ye comes out and says, hey, you know, I see kind of a mafia running things, and then he's the devil. No, that's bullshit. Sorry.
All right, we're going to curse a little bit less on this subject.
Yes, Reverend. I'm going to try. I'll stop.
And the reason I wanted Nick, people have heard from Nick, but people haven't heard from Nick with Ye standing right next to him. You know, it's like that's the thing that.
My apologies. I do not flip the bird often. He's frustrating me. I had to let it out.
The Zionist control, the 300 in control of the media, in control of the governments, they don't want us to connect to each other. Like my dad said, okay, they say you're anti-Semitic, but they say he's a white supremacist. And he's asking me, well, what's the difference? I said, Dad, there is no difference. It's just separation and confusion. They want to separate and confuse the Christians and make us afraid to stand next to each other. A Christian can stand next to anyone. We can go visit R. Kelly in prison. We can go talk to Harvey Weinstein.
That's what Jesus did.
Yes, because Jesus can save everyone. But if the Zionists can get us so afraid that they're going to do what they've been doing to me, attempting to put me in jail.
Zionist, he's talking about Judaism, right? I just want to make sure I'm not mixing up my terminology. Define Zionism. Movement for originally the re-establishment and now development and protection of the Jewish nation. Yeah, so he's yep. Interesting. In southern Africa, religious movement represented by a group of independent churches practice a form of Christianity, incorporating elements of traditional African beliefs. Okay, and then beliefs and practices of African Zionist movement. Okay. So So yeah, he's talking about Jewish people. He's talking about Israel. He's okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. You know, we're all about. Whoa, what the fuck? Is this actually 3 hours? No way. No way. Okay, yeah, no, it's 2 hours and 40 whatever minutes. Oof. Do I want to do this whole thing? I'll think about it. Because we could do like half now, and then maybe like half tomorrow. Maybe that could be a vibe.
Freeze my accounts, smearing me on the media, you know, all of these things, you know, you put on the whole armor of God and they will not be able to break your spirit.
And by the way, we can do 3 hours on this subject, and you do 5 hours on it. And let's just get it all going now, because I want to get into everything about your plans to try to bring jobs to America, unifying people, running for president, all those other issues. So I'm not steering us away from that. I'm just saying let's just run with it as far as you guys want to go, and then I want to get into all the other topics that surround things.
You know it's bad when Alex Jones is like, please stop it with the Jewish conspiracies. Please talk about your presidential policies. Because, you know, you're running for fucking president. It's official. You announced it. You have paperwork and stuff done. Holy friggin' smokes. And he's acting like this, and he's going bonkers. You're a presidential candidate.
Oh, beautiful. So where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, I would just start with this. There are good people from every group and every type of culture, and we all know that. But definitely the left, when it was America defeated Hitler, calls their opposition Hitler. When both my grandfathers almost died in the Army Air Corps, both of them almost died. One of them crash landed after a mission and got all broke up. The other one got hit in a German air raid in North Africa, and he'd only done like 18 of his missions, and then he had a concussion, and he was the captain, and then his buddies went up the next day and blew up over Italy. And he was always freaked out about it. Never really talked about it until he died, but when he died, we read the letters and all the awards he had and stuff and the things he did after that, and then, you know, re-upping and recommitting to the Army Air Corps. So I take it as an offense to have George Soros and people that actually work for Hitler.
What? 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 That's wild. Okay, so let me get this straight. He said, hey, let's veer off of, like, the Jewish Zion conspiracies, but also wait, Hitler, Soros, conspiracy. What in the heck? I can't. Then he's like, my grandpa's almost died. Which is, yeah, that's rough.
Rounding up people tell me I'm a Nazi when I almost don't exist when my grandfathers went over there. So I got a lot to say about this as well. It's just nuanced with the whole thing that's going on. But expanding on that, give us, because I want you to.
When your policies and beliefs sound like quote for quote and have the consequences, if they quote for quote are like Nazi policies, and then the consequences of implementing those policies is the same shit that happened with the Nazis, I think that is why people are calling you a Nazi. Maybe you should rethink your policies.
Wherever you want. So just let's just have you talk for 10, 15 minutes more before me and we got a lot to hear from Fuentes and he needs to be heard, but we want to hear from Ye. Go ahead.
Well, I said with Ali Alexander and Nick Fuentes that we're like the SWAT team of free thought, and I go in with this battle ram at the door, and then they come in with these laser beams and have that information. And we work together as a team. A lot of times in media, they want to single out one person and burn them to the core. That is a Zionist approach. And they're asking me to use that same approach. Well, hey, don't say all people, just say specifically the businessmen. And then I go on Lex Fridman and I say who it's specifically, and that's still not enough. They're still taking it too far. Everyone knows and agrees now that it's like a reverse version of American History X, the scene when they put the guy's head against the curve and kick the back of it. And now people are like, wait a second, the so-called crime doesn't deserve the punishment. What did I thought?
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love, us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography, but.
There it is, boys and girls and days and neos, and that's the headlines talking about, wait a second, I kind of liked Hitler. There it is, we got it. Also, they played the clip from the movie that he just talked about, which was a lot. I wasn't expecting that. It was really violent, suddenly. And that was kind of unnecessary. Like, we already got the description when he was describing the movie scene. So, okay. So, you know those memes where people have been calling Ye Blitler, like Black Hitler? He likes those memes, I guess, because he likes Hitler. So all of my policy questions that I have been asking since he announced his presidential run, apparently his policies are just Hitler's. Great to know. The crazy thing is, though, that we had a war. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I hiccup. We had a whole ass war about how we don't like Hitler's policies. So perhaps if someone is running on Hitler's policies, maybe they shan't. Shan't be allowed. Or something. I don't know. Kind of gives me the ickies.
This guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you gonna do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, I am worried about the thousands of black folks down.
He's like, hey, Hitler was cool. He invented highways. Yeah, get it. Like, that's really okay. And then he had a call out. Wow, that's a lot.
A month in Chicago, but let me expand on that because that's a nuanced issue. Sure. My grandfather grew up in Dallas and from a pretty wealthy family.
Also, Hitler was born Christian.
Oh, I've actually studied some of the history on it, but it's very interesting. My grandfather, grew up, and actually some of his family spoke some German. There's a lot of Germans in Texas. But did you know that he grew up next door to the inventor of air conditioning and the inventor of one of the major inventors of refrigeration? And so my issue was, growing up, my grandfather told me the stories about some of the inside baseball and the things that went on. But later, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you some stuff about Hitler that you might not know directly that happened to my people I knew.
I'd love to hear everything because guess what? We don't get to hear. It's hidden. Even like our truth, the fact that African Americans were in America before the Pilgrims, that truth is hidden. That we are actually the Native Americans, or some of us are Native, or the fact that what Kyrie got in trouble is pointing out that we're Jewish slave boats. And then,
well, look at Australia. Yeah. They've done some of the genetic typing of the Aborigines there, and they're basically Africans.
There you go. So all of these truths, and then the current truths about bank.
So that was a bit, all of a sudden. Um, what kind of got me fucked up is how they'll take like the tiniest crumb of truth and then just like roll it around in shit. And so it's like, yeah, you want like a truffle of truth? A truth truffle? And you're like, that's a shit truffle. And they're like, no, a true truth truffle. I put the truth in it. It's the main ingredient, I promise. And you're like, smells like shit. It's probably gonna taste like shit. And I don't want to pick through the outer layers of shit to get to the truth in the middle. But then they're like, eat this truth truffle or you suck, you're part of the problem. Like, and then so you kind of have to. So, I just hit my microphone. The whole, like, everyone came from Africa thing, like, that is like a timeline thing, for all of humanity and humanoids, is that from, like, what we have knowledge and fossil records and things on now, the oldest things we have are in Africa. are in ye old Mesopotamian what was the term for it? Excuse me. No, the delta, like, anyway. But people journeyed out on foot, on boats, on the land bridge between like Russia and Alaska that used to exist that doesn't anymore. Cuz again, we have research in that area about like the way the ice formed and stabilized, about, different land existing, like land erosion over time. Anyway, those used to be connected, and at some point people walked across, then came down, and that's where the native and indigenous people came from there. And then, yeah, when people figured out boats, you know, Moana was like that was on it. Moana. The Moana voyaging, like, Polynesian boat ship travel, like, that is legit. That is a thing for those indigenous peoples getting around and island hopping and things. I don't know much about, like, if it was people from Africa going out into the islands or from the North Americans out into the islands. I don't know, but like, we do know that a lot of stuff started from the delta, like, river areas in, like, Middle East, Africa, Eurasia, Europe, Asia, blended, connected area, and then everything journeyed out. So him taking that and watering it down, like, that complex history knowledge, like, that complex, like, anthropology, that complex, fossil paleontology, like, all, like, those complex studies, and just watering it down to, well, Africans, black peoples were Native American stuff. Like just like, no. You can't water it down that much. It's much more complicated than that. There's a bunch of layers to stuff. They're their own people now. Indigenous folks are their own peoples now. They're not African anymore. Like, because it's been thousands of years, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years since the first peoples that we even have records on. Because that's the other thing. Archaeology and like finding fossils and shit is so hard because of how things break down. Like, you need very specific environmental qualities, I guess is the word I'm looking for fossils and things to happen and be preserved. That's why with climate change and all of the like permafrost, used to be permafrost up north and in like the Arctic circles and stuff, that's why we're finding so much crazy shit coming out of that ice. Like that my favorite is like that dog with that young boy that was found preserved, but specifically the dog. Like, the boy was cool, but the dog, because the dog was a very clear in-between transitional period between like the domestication of wolves to like what we have now as dogs, and it changed the whole timeline for how we thought domestication happened with dogs. It's like wild. Sorry. So I feel sorry. I feel like that just kind of like, that's what really gets to me and really upsets me about a lot of this stuff sometimes, is just taking like the tiniest little crumb of truth and they just fuck it up, and then they distribute their fucked up thing that they made. Like, anyway, let's play it, because I got so caught up in getting pissed about that bit that I already don't even know what the fucking other bit was that I was pissed about. It was more Jewish conspiracy stuff, wasn't it? I don't know. Let me rewind it a little bit.
To the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you gonna do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, I am worried about the thousands of black folks down in the month of Chicago, but let me expand on that, because that's a nuanced issue. Yeah. You know, my grandfather grew up in Dallas and from a pretty wealthy family.
Also, Hitler was born Christian.
Oh, I've studied some of the history on it, but it's very interesting. My grandfather, you know, grew up, and actually some of his family spoke some German. There's a lot of Germans in Texas. But did you know that he grew up next door to the inventor of air conditioning and the inventor of one of the major inventors of refrigeration? And so my issue was, growing up, my grandfather told me the stories about some of the inside baseball and the things that went on. But later, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you some stuff about Hitler that you might not know directly that happened to my people I knew.
I'd love to hear everything, because guess what? We don't get to hear. It's hidden. Even like our truth, the fact that African Americans were in America before the Pilgrims. That truth is hidden. That we are actually...
It's not hidden. We know these things. We know about humanoid migration over thousands of years. Like, no, it's not hidden. And that's the thing. That's the other thing. They lure you in with, like, I know a secret and people will be mad if you know it. Hee 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 hoo hoo. And then it's, like, not even a secret. But also the other thing though, is like the whole, I'm gonna ramble again, so I'll go back to face. Maybe I'll ramble. I don't know. The whole, like, don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe in like the positivity and the looking in the good in people, but there comes a point where someone like Hitler does so much fucked up shit, like the Holocaust, that you can't. The good stuff doesn't really matter. It does. It's not. It's not. You know, like to water it down a lot. It's literally if you have a friend, and every time you hang out with them, they just like always punch you and hit you. And the punching and hitting like escalates. That you can't really focus on the fact that they've been your friend since kindergarten and that you always go to the movies with them every other weekend with them and their parents. Because the fact that they hit you every time you hang out with them since you've been in kindergarten is weighing on you more than the fact that you go out to the movies with them and do like a Taco Tuesday night. The pain that they've caused, the hurt and the negatives, have created a tipping point where the negativities are outweighing the positives. So yeah, Hitler's your friend from kindergarten who punched you all the time. Sure, he took you to the movies or invented the highway or whatever, but he also killed millions of Jewish people and punched you every other. Like, so no, we can't look at the good things Hitler did, because it's fucking Hitler. Oh my god, I can't believe that has to be said. Holy shit. The fuck?
The Native Americans, or some of us are Native, or the fact that what Kyrie got in trouble is pointing out that we're Jewish slave boats. Like, and then,
well, look at Australia.
Yeah.
They've done some of the genetic typing of the Aborigines there, and they're basically Africans.
There you go. You know, so all of these.
That's what I was talking about. Like, no, you can't simplify it that much. No. No. You can't simplify it that much. Like, humanoid dispersion across the world is way more complicated than that. Than just being like, everyone's from Africa. Like, no, their environment did change, which did make them change as people. So now we have all different kinds of peoples. And that's a good thing. It's good to have different kinds of peoples.
Truths, and then the current truths about banking, about the government. My favorite thing that I got to say with Tim Pool was Rahm Emanuel was right there next to Obama. Jared Kushner was right there next to Trump. What do those two people, those two Zionists, I gave it away, have in common? Nick, can you pick that up and expound on that?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and it's interesting because you've been going on these interviews with Lex Friedman and with Tim Pool and Piers Morgan, and they always say, well, don't talk about a group, talk about the individuals. And I would point out, one, it's hypocritical because in the same interview, Tim Pool said, well, wouldn't Ye be so great for the black vote? You can say the black vote, but you talk about Jewish businessmen, and somehow that's a problem. You can't talk about groups when it's one, but not the other. The other thing is that there is something baked into the cake in Judaism which affects how they're brokering these kinds of contracts with entertainers like Ye. If you look at the Talmud, which is a real Jewish holy book, or part of the holy book, there's the written Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible. There's the oral Torah, which was written down as the Mishnah and then interpreted in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it says that Jews have to treat Gentiles differently than they treat other Jews. There's all kinds of examples of this. They say that if a Jew indirectly kills a Gentile, there's nothing even wrong with that. There's nothing morally wrong with that. They say that for a Jew to have sex with a Gentile is comparable to bestiality. They say that the semen of a Gentile is like that of horses. They also say that you can't give a gift to a Gentile. A Jew is not permitted under the Talmud to give a gift to a Gentile. They're not permitted to charge each other interest, but they're encouraged to charge Gentiles interest.
What do they say about pedophilia?
They say that that's, in some cases, licit.
I'm not Jewish, but that's a whole lot of no. Like, even me with what little knowledge I have of Judaism, like, the way they just broke all of that down is a big fucking no. And that's the thing about talking about holy books you're not familiar with. You kind of shouldn't. And especially with them, like, anti-Semitics are just going to tear apart those however they feel, in order to get their point across, their anti-Semitic points across. So, maybe don't listen to people who hate Jews talking about the Jewish holy books. Maybe talk to Jewish people, and maybe go to Jewish sources and resources for Jewish holy books. Just saying. And then, you know, same thing for, like, Christian holy books, Islamic holy books, pagan religions. Like, get the knowledge from the people who are involved in it. You know, because a big chunk of their life revolves around them getting it right.
Well, I mean,
So you're telling me in their holy book, it says it's okay to be pedophiles as long as it's not another Jewish person?
That's something that came from Adam. I'm not 100% sure on that.
well, let me just get this. Let me just get this out front.
See, so then he's trying to get him to be, like, very blatant with it, and then he can't. He can't be like, I mean, like, because he's already bullshitting a bunch of stuff. Like, sorry, I'm fixing my, like, little back pillow. Is this little guy from, like, the Surigama, I think, are one of the characters, like, this little series. These little dudes, these little guys from he's my little back pillow for my lower back, because I sit on a dining room chair. I don't have an office chair. I want a gamer chair. There was one on Newegg that I really wanted, and was going to, like, long story short, Newegg has, like, third-party sellers, and the third-party seller, like, did some fuggity-wuggity shit, and we didn't get a chair that we ordered, and now we've been in, like, a lot of back and forth trying to get this chair, but it's been, like, a year, and I don't think we're getting our chair or a refund at this point. So I just sit on a dining room chair now with a blanket and my little guy, my little pillow, my little fella.
I believe in free speech, and that's why I want you to be here and be able to say whatever you want. I'm quite the historian from a lot of multifaceted views. So at a certain point, I'm going to give my nuanced views of this, because there are power structures, and there are mafias, and there are cliques, and there are groups, and there is certainly leftist Jews that call everybody Nazis they don't agree with. If you don't want open border.
Did he just say leftist Jews? What the fuck? So he's playing into the Jewish conspiracy things? But also leftism. Leftism bad.
You don't want your guns taken, or you don't want to take a shot. The ADL had a meeting 2 weeks ago and said, Alex Jones is an agent of evil. He should be taken off the air. He's the devil because he doesn't want you to take 4 shots. And I'm like, what are you doing calling me anti-Semitic? I'm not against groups. I don't get into group politics.
Adam, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Alex.
Yes, sir.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu What do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2
So he just did a puppet show to get his point across?
weeks ago since like the tweet, and I thought he had a funny name. I heard he's like really into like, he's like a super killer and I could die for saying this. So in case this the last time you ever hear from me.
Well, look. I'm glad you guys are here.
Did he just say... So he did a puppet show like he would do with children to make a point. And then you said that that guy kills people just offhandedly. I don't even think there are subtitles for this.
And we can sit here and upset.
I don't even think there are subtitles. Yeah, no subtitles, because Alex Jones hates hearing impaired and hearing oriented disabilities.
All I'm telling you is, do you guys realize that the British government created Hitler and the Milner Group put him in power, and there's something much more sophisticated? And I personally think that most Jews are great people, and I understand there's a Jewish mafia, and they're used to demonize anybody that promotes freedom, but I don't blame Jews in general for that. And there is a much larger eugenics, transhumanist, scientific elite agenda that's playing off.
What about abortion? It's 50% of black deaths. There's over 50.
Hey, one of the papers I had, you're like, why is all? You're the director today. It's fine. The Margaret Sanger, Rockefeller-founded Planned Parenthood came out today and said, because of your white guilt, white people need to give money so we can kill black babies. I swear to God, it's in my stack. If I hadn't moved it off the desk, I could pull it right up for you.
Why did I have you move it off the desk, Alex?
Because it's cluttered. I'm not bitching. I'm just saying, everybody asks, where's my papers? I don't have them there as a prop. I can literally go, look, I agree with you. Look at this. They say.
So get the papers, dude. Have someone bring it for you. You have a bunch of people on set to do that stuff. If you know you're going to reference something during your show, keep it on hand. That's such a shit-ass excuse because he's got a shit-ass opinion.
Hey, white people, help us kill black people for your white guilt. It actually says that. Now, this is...
National Review, InfoWars. Is he just citing his own InfoWars stuff?
I'm agreeing with you.
Is it a problem with props? We can't. This is the voice of Netanyahu.
Well, see, you get your mop. You get your mop. I'm going to find the tweet here. See, I'm
going to find the tweet. So, also, that is a complex thing they're talking about because a lot of it also comes down to, like, poverty. And then, you know, there's structures in place that causes racial minorities to be in poverty more and longer. So that's why they would be getting the abortion. I don't know what things I'm supposed to say or not say because I don't know what's going to get flagged. But that's again, like that's it. They're just taking really complex issues and then they just like I'm all about taking complex things and making them easier for everyday people to process. But not in this way, fam. Not in a way where you just fuck it up and make it all wrong. Or just to be whatever you want to process. Like, I just...
Because I want to show you this. This is a big... Guys, I sent it to you this morning. It was in the tweets. You pull it up. It's official Twitter of the eugenics death cult. Talk about Nazis. I mean, beyond.
We're going to have Netanyahu step out for a second, okay, Alex?
Oh, he's going to go?
I'm leaving for now until it's another meeting, and then I'm going to say something. All right.
You're not only an artist, you're a comedian. But Nick, that's what I'm getting at here is that that it was a it doesn't even matter. I mean, there's fluoride in the water killing us all. They're injecting us with GMO. Oh, here's a question, and I'm not an apologist for Israel.
Just say you don't understand why fluoride is in the water and you don't understand how GMOs work. Just say that. Okay, I'll be really honest. This is hurting my brain. Like, this is a long fucking thing. I have paused it because there's just so much to talk about when these people open their freaking mouths. So I am like 24 minutes into it. We had the Hitler thing, which was what was in the news. We can probably figure out like what were the other like highlighted segments, I guess. So Alex Jones. And then we should be able to skip around this. Excuse me. Do we want MSNBC? In an hours-long interview on a conspiracy theory website, gave Ye a platform to make anti-Semitic statements with little challenge from the host. Yeah, well, because otherwise he would have left. Because if he got challenged like Tim Pool did, then he would have left. Because he needs yes men. So, Alex Jones. Sorry, my ear like tickled. So, in an hours-long interview, praised Hitler. We got that part. And made anti-Semitic jokes and talked about his recent meetings with former President Donald Trump. Recent meeting, not meetings. Huh. Searches for Kanye and InfoWars spiked. Yep. Yeah, repeatedly referred to anti-Semitic stereotypes, made anti-Semitic jokes, and praised Hitler. Yeah. So does nothing else of like happen in this interview? The Jewish media has made us feel like the Nazis and Hitler have never offered anything of value to the world. Ye said at one point during the interview, but I see good things about Hitler also. Yep, we did see that. We did see him say that. Clips of Ye's statements quickly went viral. Yep. Later Thursday, Ye went further. He tweeted an image appearing to show a swastika inside the Star of David, which was then blocked by Twitter as a violation of its rules. He's trying to get that Twitter ban. Twitter owner Elon Musk signaled his disapproval. That's fine. This is not fine. His account was later suspended. So he's got that suspension, but he still don't have that permaban. In the wake of the Jones interview, Ye received criticism from former friends, supporters, and collaborators. Also, it's crazy, Fuentes has, like, not talked. Because, who knows? They know that he's probably going to say also some whack stuff. So, Republican House Judiciary Committee appeared to delete a viral tweet from October that read, Kanye, Elon, Trump. Okay. Jesus taught love, kindness, and forgiveness. I used to think turning the other cheek was foolish, Elon Musk tweeted. I was a fool for not appreciating that profound wisdom. Okay. So, the Twitter account for Parler, the alternative social media platform that Ye said has planned to purchase, when the fuck did he say he was going to do that? Also tweeted on Thursday the deal was terminated in a mutual agreement in mid-November. Ah, okay. So that's why no one's talking about it, because it's not happening anymore. So, stuff with... Oh, abiotic. It's wild. So, Tim Pool's conservative-leaning YouTube show. Conservative-leaning YouTube show? You can just say conservative YouTube show. When Poole began pushing back against Ye's anti-Semitic statements, Ye walked away from the interview. We saw that clip earlier. Okay. In the Jones broadcast, Ye was allowed to freely make anti-Semitic statements alongside Fuentes with little questioning from Jones, who at times said that he himself was not anti-Semitic. If the shoe fits, bud. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, nearly $500 million. Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. In November, Jones was ordered to pay nearly $500 million to the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims for promoting the falsehood that the 2012 massacre was a hoax. So, does nothing else happen in this interview? Like, the Hitler stuff happens within the first 20 minutes, and then it's just hours of them popping off on all kinds of shit. Like, I think that... Oh, sorry, I smacked my lips in the microphone. I think I'm gonna skip around a bit, because this is whack. This is wild. And just ain't it.
I'm trying to be balanced here, and I believe in First Amendment. I believe in free speech. I endorse you, say whatever you want. Israel has, other than like Singapore and a few places, the most draconian mRNA injections in the world. They have the highest death rate from the shots. They are literally forcibly injecting them like Joseph Mengele, and Jews are dying in...
Is he talking about the COVID vaccine? The mRNAs?
...mass in Israel. So if the
So he's just pushing vaccine conspiracies now?
Jews are the secret group that runs it all. And I'm not denying that, Jews run Hollywood. What I'm saying is...
It's the Zionist.
Yeah, but, okay, well, why would the Zionists be killing Jews in mass in Israel with the poison shot?
Because they work for Satan. They don't work for God.
Exactly. So they create atmospheres that get Jews persecuted so they can control the Jews so they can kill them. And you just did it. Just like George Soros...
He's really out here like they're making themselves victims. That's my ears just had to hear that. Your ears just had to hear that. Oh my lord. Also, what the fuck is up with this chart? Daily news. Daily new cases. Where does this chart from? It still has InfoWars graphics. Like, this is not... This chart... Where are the sources for this chart? Like, I can also make a chart. Chat says, oh. This is every time I stream late at night, the freaking horny bots appear. Begone, horny bots. Begone, horny thought bots. Oh, sorry, I got cozy in my blankie. Because this is distressing. This is upsetting. This is... Oh, I thought that was falling. Why happen? Like... Hear me out. What if They just dumb.
Help round up Jews for Hitler. That's the next level. Boom, we just got there.
And they control the left and the right. They make politics super messy. Like, I went in to meet with my boy Trump, and the next thing you know, like he typed, he said, fake news went crazy. And I love Trump like every other good Christian American. We just want to hold Trump to Christian values and say,
what are these visuals flying across the screen? I cannot. Like, and then they don't have any sources for this stuff that they have. They just throw on the screen. Okay, I'm going to skip around a bit because now they're like, skip like 10 minutes. This is Soros again.
what's up? This is Laura Loomer.
I'm watching live. I saw you just said that you wanted me to call in, so I'm calling in.
Well, how does she have your number?
Well, she called me because she had some concerns about Milo running my campaign.
No, that's great. So here's the deal. We've got Laura Loomer's number. Can we call her on Skype or Zoom? Can we actually put her on the show? Laura, you're on via speakerphone. Can you come on via Skype or via phone right now?
Yeah, I can't do video right now, but I could do audio. I texted your producer.
Laura, we're gonna call you right now. We're gonna put you on air in 2 minutes.
Don't trash Milo. I like Milo.
I'll call in right now.
You didn't say yes.
Yeah, they're gonna call her. They got her number.
Okay, cool.
What? Okay, let's skip to Justin Trudeau, leader. What are they? That's an ad. I don't want your supplements.
Young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this cabinet are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. So that we penetrate the cabinets.
Everything we discuss is then leaked to the paper. That's not a problem. And that's not all the way the conversation was conducted.
Canadians are watching very closely. Obviously, everyone in China should be allowed to express themselves, should be allowed to share their perspectives, and indeed protest. We're going to continue to ensure that China knows we'll stand up for human rights.
So they're talking about the protests in China.
By racist flags. We won't cave to those who engage in vandalism or dishonor the memory of our.
And then they talk about the truckers driving across Canada because of COVID restrictions, mask mandates, all that stuff. I don't think they're going to talk about Kanye's campaign. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Like, I'm covering politics stuff. I'm trying to get info on the current official presidential candidates, which is like Trump, Ye, and like it's kind of it. Like Biden and Kamala haven't actually like officially said anything yet. So there was that bit where it looked like they were inviting that lady on. They might talk about the campaign there. But if I skip around a little bit more, skippy skip. What? Okay.
Turned out that Ye had accidentally sent a text message to a lawyer that both Trump and Ye share, and forwarded him some intel that Karen gave to us about how we were going to handle the Trump meeting and how to read his body language and the kinds of things that maybe we should avoid or things we might want to say. And so before the dinner, Ye accidentally forwarded that to a lawyer who then in the middle of the dinner apparently called Trump to say, hey, Karen Giorno's involved. This is a setup. You guys are being set up right now. It was really just based on a misunderstanding. And after that call, he...
Who's this lawyer?
Do you mind if I say the name?
Yes.
It's Yes, You Mind? Or,
No, I don't.
Okay, it's Nick Gravante. So he was texting
I
me.
don't mind any names. I think that's the general. Just let him finish the entire story.
So, because we pulled up in the car.
And they're trying to make it the new reason that DeSantis should be the 2024 front.
I'm sure he's been through a lot. I feel for.
Okay, here we go. They're talking about campaign stuff here. I had to skip like an hour in for this campaign stuff to get brought up again. Because they were rambling about all kinds of other bullshit. All kinds of other conspiracy theories.
It's almost like we got Ye here. The whole building's just crazy. Alex Jones here, back live with Ye. Nick Fuentes riding shotgun, and we're going to get Laura Loomer on the line. He didn't want to wear an earpiece. That's fine. We're going to call her on his phone in like 10 minutes or so. So we'll get to you, Laura. But he wants to get her on, so that's great. We'll get her on.
Laura again?
Ye, let me bring up, since you guys want to get on this topic, the meeting with Trump. They're now using it against Trump. They're misrepresenting who Nick is, and I think that's fair to say. And they're lying about you, and they're trying to make it the new reason that DeSantis should be the 2024 front runner. And I like to see.
Also, I forgot to mention with my hair, like, yes, my hair is wet. I showered. Like, I am not at my most glamorous. But I am clean and I am fresh. I did some stuff today that made me all sweaty, and I just, so yeah, my hair is wet and it kind of keeps bothering me and getting me in the way, so I might tie it again differently. I don't know, but I'm in a blankie.
In so many ways, but I don't like who he's aligning with, all these big donors, and him playing along with this. It's very troubling. So tell us about the meeting and what really happened there.
Nick, you have the minutes on it.
That's right.
That DeSantis should be the 2024 front runner.
So Alex Jones is anti-DeSantis because he doesn't like where DeSantis is getting his money from. Interesting.
And I like DeSantis in many ways, but I don't like who he's aligning with, all these big donors, and him playing along with this. It's very troubling. So tell us about the meeting and what really happened there.
Nick, you have the minutes on it.
That's right. So it's where to begin. Well, I want to set the record straight first of all, because there was a big piece in NBC the other day written by Mark Caputo with a lot of lies about the dinner. And I don't know if people were misquoted or if bad quotes were given, but people are being led to believe that this was somehow a setup or an ambush to make the president look bad. That's not true. Ye loves Trump. I love Trump. We came to the dinner to have a discussion with him about the 2024 race. Ye had a proposition for him. And so a lot of it was really put together in the last minute. I didn't even really know until I was at Mar-a-Lago whether or not we would be at the dinner. It was something that Ye and I discussed on the flight there and on the car ride over. So I just want to get that cleared up straight away because I think Ye and I both believe that Trump is a great option. It really just comes down to Trump and Ye for the most part.
But them trying to premeditatedly claim it was some secret meeting and he knew he was meeting with you, that's not true.
No, yeah, and it was surprising because we had this conversation the day before we flew out. We were in LA on that Monday, and I was told it may not even be possible for you to get into Mar-a-Lago. They said because there's so many people that will intercept you. There's a guest list and you have to be on it, and there's a security list and all these things. So I was told that I may not even be able to get through. Well, we pulled up to the club. They checked out Ye, they checked out Karen's ID and information. We drove up, we walked in, we sat down in the lobby. The president came out of the dining room, and that was that. He invited Ye to dinner, and I don't know if it was Ye or Trump, but one of them said, well, we want to bring Jamar, Karen, and Nick into the dining room. And so we came in, we sat down. Well, we took some pictures. Ye sort of lit up the whole room. Everybody wanted to get a picture with him. We sat down at the table. And I want to say initially it was a very pleasant dinner. Trump gave kind of the standard black voter pitch.
Abiotic. So I'm confused because I thought they texted and called him like ahead of time and had this arranged. I thought that was a thing that was publicly stated. And now they're saying they just kind of were in the area and just pulled up. Like, it's giving me two different stories vibes. My nose itch.
Talked about the HBCUs, the opportunity zones, things like that. And then it turned out that Ye had accidentally sent a text message to a lawyer that both Trump and Ye share, and forwarded him some intel that Karen gave to us about how we were going to handle the Trump meeting and how to read his body language and the kinds of things that maybe we should avoid or things we might want to say. And so before the dinner, Ye accidentally forwarded that to a lawyer who then in the middle of the dinner apparently called Trump to say, hey, Karen.
What is it with all these accidental forwardings? Like, Alex Jones's lawyer in his trial forwarded stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning. How long have I been streaming? Nearly 2 hours. So let's go a bit longer. Let's go a bit longer. Try to cut through this a little bit, and then tomorrow we'll finish this up a bit because it is a lot. And even with me skipping around just trying to find relevant like political stuff, it's a lot. And that's whack, and it's hurting my brain cells. It's killing my brain cells slowly but surely. You know.
Karen Giorno's involved. This is a setup. You guys are being set up right now. It was really just based on a misunderstanding. And after that call, he...
Who's this lawyer?
Do you mind if I say the name?
Yes.
It's Yes, You Mind? Or,
no, I don't.
Okay, it's Nick Gravante. So he was texting
I don't mind any names. I think that's the general let him finish the entire story.
Right. So, because we pulled up in the car and Ye said, here, I'll forward you these notes. So he forwarded it to me and I said, hey, I didn't get the text. And we kind of brushed it off, and we found out later he meant to send it to Nicholas Fuentes. He sent it to Nicholas Gravante on accident. So the dinner was actually very pleasant. It was very friendly. Ye picked out a song to play. He put on Say You Will off of 808s. And then Trump said, oh, I don't know, let's put on one of your hits. So he put on Stronger. It was very congenial. Well, then in the middle of the dinner, Trump gets this call because Nick Gravante apparently sent the text to one of Trump's guys or somebody. Somebody called Trump and said Karen is giving Ye intel because Karen worked for Trump. She ran the state of Florida during the Republican primary in 2016. And so he got the heads up. They thought it was some big ambush. So he gets off the phone and the tone totally flipped. And he starts telling Ye these stories about how some of his black constituents had betrayed him. He told the story about how he got A$AP Rocky out of jail. He told the story about how he got the NBA basketball players out of the Chinese jail. And the moral of the story was, if you go against me, if you're disloyal to me, I'll crush you. That was kind of the subtext of the stories from Trump. He said that Kim Kardashian, he said some nasty things about her because she endorsed Joe Biden after Trump released, Alice
Johnson.
Alice Johnson from prison. He commuted her sentence and then gave her a pardon, so he felt betrayed by that. And then Ye made the proposition and said, hey, I'd like you to be my running mate in 2024. And Trump
I gave him the opportunity. I didn't say I would like him to. I said you have the opportunity.
Right, yes.
To be my running mate in 2024.
Yes. And,
would he wear a mask as well, though?
I think it would look cool.
I do think it looks cool. So he sat back and folded his arms and he kind of smirked and he sort of dismissed it. But then he got a little bit heated and he said, you can't win. You'll never win. Don't run. You can win at a lot of things, but you can't win at this. And then he turned to me and Karen and said, you guys are smart. I know you work for him, but don't lie to him. Tell him he can't win. And, you know, I love Trump.
What the fuck? This is a wild amount of details about the meal, though, that they had earlier in the week or whatever. But at the same time, it's still watering down to fighting over being president. Like two egotistical men who surround themselves with yes men, being like, no, I'm president, no, I'm president, no, I'm president. It's my turn to play with the presidency. Well, I'm not done playing with the presidency. You're gonna have to wait your turn. Like, that's... Those are the vibes. Big sandbox fight vibes. Jeez.
And I love Ye, and so I'm looking at Trump, and then I'm looking at Ye, and I'm looking at Trump, and Ye, he's telling me.
Nick, they say you're a white supremacist. Are you a white supremacist?
No, not at all.
Well, spend some time on that.
Yeah, you know, I'm a Catholic. I'm Christian, and so I believe that we.
I know that sounds white supremacist right there, but it's not. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I believe that we're all children of God, and so I think that black, white, red, brown, whatever, we're all siblings in a certain sense because we're created by God. I do, though, believe that there are races. There are black people, there are white people, there are Hispanics, and these differences mean something to people. They mean things to each other. That doesn't mean that we can't get along. That doesn't mean.
But the left's saying it's bad to even have a culture. They're saying none of us can say I'm this or I'm that.
Right. They want to melt us all down. That's what globalization is. They want to globalize.
No one says that. Where do they get this? No one says that. Where do they even get this knowledge from? Protecting cultures is like a very leftism thing. Like protecting, what's it called? Especially like cultures of minorities who keep getting shit on by the system, you know? So, but also, hasn't Nick Fuentes been saying stuff about like not, he like the way he said it, he's like, oh, they want us to all like melt down and be one thing. Like, no, he's against like interracial marriages and stuff. Like that's his thing. He's saying it very softly, because, you know, he that's a very clear white supremacist thing. But what the actual hell? Ugh. I got some more. I want this bit. I want this bit to end. And then I will write down like what time I'm at in this. And then tomorrow, like I said, we'll do more skipping around.
The government, the economy, and the population. They want a global government. They want to globalize the economy through free trade.
With no culture.
Exactly. And the population through immigration. And they want to make it so that in 50, 100 years, there are no distinct nations. There's no distinct peoples.
So nobody can stand up to them.
Right. Just a slave class, undifferentiated. That's what they want.
This is the future president you're talking to right now.
What the fuck?
Is Nick your running mate?
He's not old enough.
Yeah, Nick, how old are you?
I'm 24. Maybe.
What the fuck? So he would have Nick Fuentes as his running mate if he was old enough. How old do you have to be the vice president? I'm assuming it's also like gonna be 35 like the presidency.
In a few cycles.
And Trump loved Nick. He looked at me, he said, where did you find this kid? He had no idea until, what's the guy that wrote the speech that you didn't like?
Jason Miller.
Jason Miller lied afterwards, after they found out who you were. And what did Jason say in the press to start off? Because it started to be like a series of lie after lie after lie and fake. It wasn't a tweet, it was a truth social after truth social after truth social. So give them the rundown on that.
Yeah, so initially, we didn't publish anything about the dinner. It was rumored that Ye went to dinner with Trump. Then it was rumored that I was at the dinner because I walked through the airport in Miami. Then there was a statement from Jason Miller, who spoke as a representative for Trump, and he said, well, Nick Fuentes was not at the dinner. And it was only at that point, which was a lie, It was only at that point when we began to respond, and Ye said, he can't say that. Nick was at the dinner. That was a lie.
But, I mean, I actually like the speeches that Jason Miller wrote. Maybe, I mean, he was just scared.
Who was scared? Trump?
No, I mean, I think Miller thinking it was a setup, but I mean, I think that's what they thought. They thought, oh, this is a setup, and I think that's where that fear came from.
But people got to stop lying. Our leaders, our politicians have to stop being afraid and being so political, and we have to put Christ first. And if anything comes from this, like...
Not to be weird, but I got distracted with his phone screen. I think it's a giraffe. But it looks like a drawing of a giraffe. I wonder if his kids drew a giraffe. And that's his phone screen.
I mean, I think that's what they thought. They thought, oh, this is a setup, and I think that's where that fear came from.
But people got to stop lying. Our leaders, our politicians have to stop.
See that? On his phone. I want to like lean in all the way. I think it's a giraffe, and it definitely looks like it's like a crayon or a colored pencil drawing. I think his children... I think a child drew a giraffe, and he put it as his phone background. That's really cute. You know, I'm getting distracted by that cute, sweet gesture. But don't forget, everyone, he's been saying some fucked up shit in this interview. And before that, ignore the giraffe. I'm a giraffe. Ignore the giraffe. He's been whacking anti-Semitic. He said he likes Hitler.
Stop being afraid and being so political, and we have to put Christ first. And if anything comes from this, like, the best thing that could come from this is I'm the president of the United States in 2024. The worst thing that could come from this is our leaders are held to Christian values, not Zionist values. Now, let's talk about the difference of Trump's Truth Socials.
Yeah, so he put out 3 successive posts. There's 3 responses from Trump on Truth Social, and they just get more sort of erratic as the pressure grows. You know, the first one, he says, it was a very uneventful dinner. I did meet with Ye. The next post was, I don't know who Nick Fuentes was, and it was totally uneventful. The third one, he says, Ye, a very troubled man who happens to be black, came for badly needed advice. And so it just kept getting more and more sort of angry and erratic. And I think what Ye's getting at, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but Trump is surrounded by handlers. He's surrounded by people like Jared Kushner and Jason Miller. He's got 3 campaign managers.
Jared Kushner bailed because he got what he wanted out of Trump, right? What did Jared do when Trump was in office?
He got the Abraham Accords. Jared Kushner with his best friend Bibi Netanyahu at 666 Fifth Avenue. They brokered the Abraham Accords, which opened up investment from the Gulf states into Israel.
What did Netanyahu have to say about it exactly?
Netanyahu loves it, of course, because this.
But let's expand on that.
I love Jared. Hey, this is Ned. Okay.
No, keep going. My point is that it's fair, though, for Trump that it is a political attack to claim that he endorses or represents even the views they claim you hold that you don't hold. So clearly, you can see how the media is using you guys as an attack on Trump.
They're using us to try to put this guy we've never heard of, DeSantis, in office. Like, DeSantis is going to play by the book. The thing about Trump is this guy is one of the best presidents we have. He's top 5 presidents. He's right there with Ronald Reagan. And
what the fuck? No. Look, and then InfoWars just quotes their own website. So, no. Just you know when people start to say subtly dumb shit versus outright dumb shit. So, like, your little stupid shit sensors still go off, but not very strongly. So, you're wondering if you're just having, like, an error in your processing. Or if, no, yeah, they really did say, like, they still said some dumb shit. So, the whole anti-DeSantis stuff, like, no one knows who DeSantis is. Like, yes, people do, because he's a Trump-backed governor in Florida. He's, like, excuse me, I hiccuped. So, it sounds like quite a few folks are still anti-DeSantis, because they're still so tied down to Trump. Excuse me again. Oh, I got hiccups. Because of the whole, we want... Let me think this through. If people still want Trump, because he had the January 6th riot, right? Like, he almost pulled off an insurrection, a coup. Like, you can't, like, work your way around that. Like, it was a riot, breaking into the government buildings, threatening officials. Like, it... Oh, I just made a sound with my mouth. It's very much... They're still clinging to that. Like, Trump can pull it off again. Versus DeSantis probably won't try anything like that. He's still kind of whack, though. I mean, I think one of the things is DeSantis is, like, still so new and kind of up and coming. We're still trying to get the vibes for him. I think he will be... Trump fans are liking Trump because he's uncontrollable. DeSantis fans are liking DeSantis because he is controllable. But they both have that same vein of right-wing wackiness, you know? So... methinks... I feel like I want to collect my thoughts a bit more on this. I am yawning. I feel like I am getting a bit tired. And it actually seems like they're going to go on and on about this meal a bit. And I want to properly... And I have hit past the 2-hour mark. And it's getting late. So why don't we make a note of where we're at? 1:13:37. Okay. Let me write that down. An hour, 13 min, 37 seconds. I literally have a piece of paper right there. And I think we'll dive into this more tomorrow when I'm not yawning. And try and pull as much, again, like Kanye presidential campaign, political info that we info from InfoWars. No, that we can pull out of this, which is saying a lot. Or maybe I'll just save this tab. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just save the window, and then I won't have to worry about any of that. You know, we'll just save the window. We'll just keep it chill. We'll just, you know, do what we do. But with how quickly things have gotten really whack from, like, they've announced their campaigns and then popping off onto some whack ass shit. It's not. Oh, sorry, I thought I saw something in chat. Like, it's not a vibe. I'm getting distracted by technical stuff. I'm trying to see how stuff is. I thought my... Sorry. I feel like every week is just gonna be a lot with Trump and Ye as candidates. And I think the Dems need to get their candidates announced. Like, whatever progressives are going to primary, Biden and Kamala need to get the ball rolling. I think that I think I'm tired. Okay. I'm sorry. I will catch yous tomorrow, because Friday is the huge. This was just a nice little bonus stream talking about this stuff, because it's a lot. Goodbye. Good night. Sleep well. Continue to be spicy. Continue to be zesty and delicious with Zestina. Okay? Sleep well. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what time. I never know what time.